So, do not mind the smoke alarm. This time it's me. I'm taking accountability. It's actually me this time. My mom and I are not tall enough. We have high ceilings. We got our high chair, and it still ain't high enough to turn this, to replace the battery. So we got to get a ladder. Okay, that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to let y'all know, I'm not slacking. It's just we're just having problems. Okay, so I be trying not to abandon y'all for too long. I just had a lot going on. I'm taking care of business, but I have a better routine, so you'll be seeing me more often. So what I'll be doing every month is basically overviews on what you need to work on for the month. General, I got all 5 cards. This pile 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'll be doing other ones in between, but these are going to be my standardized ones I do every month, 5 cards. On Patreon, I do weekly 5 cards, which is, of course, a Patreon exclusive. So if you want to become a Patreon or a patron and get further details within the weeks, you'll be getting that instead of just this one, card for the month or one pile for the month. I don't have too much to say. Let's just get started with pile 1. All right, here's the cards that I got for you, pile 1. Let's see. Okay. Boom. So I feel like what y'all need to work on right now is, I think y'all are caught up in the approval of other people and what you want them, what they want from you instead of what you want from yourself. You have to remember that what you're doing is a full on and full out creative process. That requires you to cognitively think about what you're doing and what you're putting out. And I feel like you want people's validation for what you're doing. And that's not even a bad thing. I'm not one of those people that be like, oh, why are you looking for validation from other people? No, I just feel like you have too many expectations on how you want things to go that you're not understanding that some of those expectations that you have come from what other people have been saying and not what you actually feel. I think you need to have a little more fun. I think that some of y'all may have been doing a lot of other stuff. Maybe you're in not even maybe in relationships, or you have connections to things that aren't good for you because you're not in your creative passion. So it seems like all of your creative energy is going towards the wrong stuff. You're putting your love into the wrong stuff, and I feel like a piece of you knows this, and so you're dropping some of those things as you go along. But I feel like some of y'all are seeking approval from somebody that you really care about, and they're not really paying you no mind about what it is that you have going on. And I feel like in this particular situation, because it kind of reminds me of a reading I did for one of my patrons for one of the piles I did last week, where I said that a lot of people were seeking a lot of approval from certain people. Sorry, how my camera was angled was kind of bothering me, but a lot of people were seeking a sort of approval for certain things. And I feel like in your situation, I feel like the person that you want to notice what you're doing is not really somebody that you need to be worried about or concerned with, just for the mere fact that they're not actually going to be the benefactor, or they're not going to benefit you like you think. It's kind of just like one of those things where it's just more so in your head about where they are, but they can't bring you to the level that you want to be at. So I would definitely keep that in mind. Along with that, I will also pay attention to reflecting on times where you felt like you were not getting the love that you deserved in life. And sometimes I feel like you're kind of chasing some sort of high. Like you want some sort of energy to come back, or something that you've never been getting. And so you're spending a lot of your time having fun. You're going out a lot, or you're doing a lot of things to kind of supplement. But I feel like none of that is actually going towards any of your passions, because you feel like people don't care about what you're doing. That's not even true. People do care about what you're doing. It's just you're not in the spaces to really nurture that energy. So I need you to kind of reflect on your community and figure out who is going to best support you in these times. Because the people that you're partying with, sometimes they're just good for partying. They're good for having fun. They're good for turning up, etc. But they're not necessarily those people that you need to go to when it comes to serious stuff, building your life up. They're just good for fun. And honestly, I wouldn't really consider those people quote unquote friends. And just because of this fifth house energy that's coming in, they're not necessarily friends. They're more so acquaintances in the situation that really have no specific bearing on how your main plot of your life is going to go. They're all here for the externals, they're here for the fun, and etc. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. I need you to get out of supplementing your energy for things that you know you're not passionate about. I feel like you're getting too caught up in, oh, this is fun and I'm having fun, because I feel like a piece of you is doubting your career potential on something. And so because it's taking so long, you're looking for that's what you're looking for. I'm trying to get it out. You're looking for some sort of, it seems like some of you are looking for some sort of instant gratification. Or maybe you're not looking for instant gratification, but you know what you're going to do, what you're doing is going to take you a while. And we're actually coming into sidereal Capricorn Mars season. And this is actually a Capricorn Mars card. So for some of you, there during this time, there may be a slowdown. So you're not really getting that exalted Mars benefit where you're like, go, 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 go. Things are going to clear. You have to go in and take more of that Saturn energy more than the Mars energy. You're going to have to go back and be like, okay, I could have been here. Not saying that you should be further along than where you need to be, but now it's kind of like doing the work that has been backlogged for a minute because you've been supplementing this for fun. And I feel like there's a lack of some sort of love or some connection that you have in your life. So you're just kind of grasping at straws. Right now, you just really, really, really need to think about what your situation entails, what's going on, what's happening in your life, and how can you further build a deeper, more wholesome, more pure connection with what you're doing, because you want your creativity and what you like to do and what you're passionate about to be an extension of you. You don't always want to consume everybody else's stuff, because then it kind of leaves you hollow, because when you're to yourself and when you're by yourself, you realize, there's really nothing that you can build a relationship with because you're so focused on the outside factors. I would say take this fifth house energy. Even though I'm saying what I'm saying about externalization, I also feel like that the fifth house is also, it sits at the bottom of the chart. It's really good for you to be the underdog. Like I've talked about this on Patreon, where the fifth house is like this underdog house where, it's like, it's a cult phase. It's like cult phase. It's like real good quality work that may not have the biggest budget right now, but it's one of those things that starts the trends. It creates that like 10th house refinement. And that's where you need to be at. You need to find that place where it's your fifth house, you have this going on. What can you do with it? How is this personal to you? Because like I said, that bottom of the chart part, it's that personal part. You need to reflect on that. Where's the disconnect? Where is the love going into the wrong places? Seems like it is. Are you looking for this approval? Why are you looking for the approval? What do you need to let go of? Because you're making things a lot more hard on yourself because you're trying to impress people rather than just doing what you love. Just do what you love. Forget how everybody else feels about it. Forget how they perceive it. You need to be in a space where you're doing things because you like to do it. And I've been seeing that theme come up a lot in readings, but I feel like specifically for y'all are just doing other stuff because you're doubting some of this potential, because maybe you weren't getting the encouragement that you wanted growing up, saying like, you can do this. You kind of have to be your own encouragement at this point and learn. You have to go back into your childlike wonder, because that's what the fifth house is about too. You have to go when you were a kid, you were excited about everything. You need to do more inner child work and heal that. Not even heal the inner child, because it's the adult that I see in you that needs the help, and the inner child wants to come out. But I feel like the older part of you is kind of subduing that inner child to being like, no, you can't do that. And it's kind of like, at this point, you're no better than the adults that told you can't. If they told you can't, and you're telling yourself you can, what can you do? Because you're doing everything else. You made everything else possible. Why aren't you making this possible? That doesn't make sense. And it's not to be hard on you. It's not to disrespect you or anything like that. But it's one of those things where I won't say that you're making excuses, but you're not even giving yourself a chance to just have fun in good ways. And I think a lot of the times when we're adults, a lot of people are doing this thing, like I've even seen it on social media where people are like, oh, Hello Kitty is like a no, you're grown. Like everybody's trying to be all quote unquote mature. And I'm like, see, this is the result of what happens when you over mature yourself because you feel like you have to be an image. Because being not even a child because you're an adult, but like having fun and doing things that are still not adult and work oriented can make it seem like you are losing control of life and that you don't have a sense of control. That's not even true. Your thing and what you need to focus on is making sure that the inner child is still being incorporated in your adulthood, because now you're an adult, you have more control over your life and how these outcomes go. Whereas when you were a kid, you were at the mercy of whatever adult was around you. So you have to be the best adult for yourself in order to get the ball rolling. And that's going to be the best of help for you. So like I said, keep that in mind. Keep going with what you're doing. Keep your inner child in mind. Reparent yourself. That's like one of the biggest things for the K2 and Virgo I've been talking on Patreon, like reparenting yourself. And like I said, this is a big factor in reparenting and understanding where you want to take things and not doubting yourself. There's enough adults in your life that have disappointed you. Don't be the adult that disappoints yourself at this point. You get what I'm saying? Because then you're going backwards and you're losing out and you have so much potential. I need you to reflect on your past a little bit. I need you to figure out what you wanted back then that you can still get right now. You could still have it. I just need you to just dig a little bit deeper than what you've been doing. Okay, part 2. Let's get it. Let's see what's going on. I kind of pulled backwards because I like things kind of ordered a certain way. But y'all been getting some little extra cards. I got 2 extras that I ended up pulling for y'all. So I'm going to keep it like a little exponent type of thing. Damn. Okay. So let's kind of get into it. What I actually like about this spread, hold on, let me kind of get my little angles right. So what I like about this spread is a lot of y'all are going to, let me fix something. All right, let's get into a little lore about this and how I'm going to just get into this. If you feel like you've been financially blocked for whatever reason, it's not because you're necessarily doing anything wrong. I just feel like there's somebody that's really hating on you real bad. Like it's not good. Let me tell you, your name be coming up in rooms, right? And there's probably somebody that knows that you're doing way more than what they think, and instead of using you as a reference, they're like, oh no, she don't, or I don't really know what else she's doing, knowing full fucking well they know what you're doing. Or it's one of those things where somebody is looking for something and these motherfuckers are not even thinking to mention you in these rooms. That type of thing. This is what I'm gonna need you to do. You need to lock in. You have people you would think would have your back when it comes to certain things, and they end up not even doing that just for the mere fact because they don't want to see you doing better than them. What you have to do, and it's not that it's a fault or anything that you're doing wrong, at this point, you have to have more self-awareness and self-understanding. So when you walk into certain rooms, you already know what you're selling. Because at this point, relying on other people to kind of help you with this, they're only going to know, even if they could help you, they're only going to be able to tap into so much. You have the voice. you have the energy and you have the impact to get this done. They're just a stepping stool. No shade. Even if these people you cool with, when I say stepping stone, I mean stepping stone as in they got you in the room. Now you got to learn how to work that said room. Even if you don't have anything career-wise that you want to work on, when it comes to getting any opportunity that will bring you a sense of growth, that's what you have to do. Another thing is, I feel like some of y'all need to focus more on saving your coin for certain things. I feel like some of the stuff that you spend your money on isn't probably the best things for you. I feel like there's things that you think you need and you're kind of like spending money on because you're like, oh, it needs to be this, it needs to look like this. And I feel like you kind of need to go back to the basics and kind of learn how to format with what you have. Because if you don't, you're going to end up I wouldn't even say like blocking your blessing, but more so things come in due time and you can't always buy your way into stuff. Now, you're probably wondering, where did this come from? What is this Psyche card? Let's talk about Psyche just for a tinge. Only reason why I'm going to talk about it for a little bit is because you could read the mythology for yourself. I'm just going to give you the summarization. Aphrodite was mad that Psyche was getting the attention that she wasn't getting. She sent Cupid/Eros down to strike her with a bow so she could fall in love with somebody ugly, right? The bow got struck on her and she ended up seeing Eros instead. Or no, Eros struck himself with the arrow and fell in love with Psyche. And so when that ended up happening, he was basically like a secret admirer for a minute, and like he wouldn't show his face to her and stuff. And then like his sister, Psyche's sister was like, you need to see what he looked like. What he giving? And so she finally found out and he like fled. But Aphrodite, on the other hand, was like putting her through a whole bunch of trials and tribulations. But what Aphrodite didn't know is that whenever she was going through these trials that Aphrodite was putting her through, she was passing these tests because she had help from outside forces. So I will tell you this, even though you think that people are not in your corner or are not helping you or not supporting you, you'll have some people that are even strangers that will help you put all this together. So don't worry too much about, the person that's hating on you and blocking your blessings. You just have to be the one that's willing to go through the trials to get the benefits that you're looking for. Once you do that, you'll be fine. Because I do see that you're very heavily connected with what you're doing. I just feel like some of y'all, this is what I'm noticing too. Some of y'all, you may have a little bit of stage fright, or you're nervous, you have a little bit of social anxiety, so you really don't know how to talk around a group of people. So now you have to kind of learn to build up your social skills, and you have to be very strong, and you have to learn how to take criticism. Criticism does not mean you're a bad person or your idea is bad. It's just there's ways you need to improve. You should always come into a room confident. You should always talk to somebody about what you're doing confidently. Anything you want to do, it should be met with a level of confidence, and you should meet that constructive criticism is making you better. So when somebody tries to knock you out the park, they can't, because you're already at a certain level. You've been there, done that. They're probably scared to do the things that you had to work on to get to where you are going to be at. So I need you to work on your social skills. Get in front of a mirror. Talk to yourself in front of the mirror. Be like, hey, how do you want to say things? How do you want to represent yourself? Your body posture means everything. A lot of y'all may look down a lot when you talk. Do not do that. Lift your head up. Look at these people in their eyes. Interact with everybody. Look at people when you're talking. Because when you put your head down, you're letting everybody know, I'm not confident in what I'm saying. And what you may be doing may be a really good thing. But because you couldn't convince everybody else, you just messed up some of your chances. You might have. You're less likely to get what you're asking for. There's still a chance, but if you have a little more confidence, you sell the energy a lot faster. And that's what I want some of y'all to do. Don't block your own blessings because you're not confident. Don't think you have to buy your way through something, or You can't buy love. You can't buy certain things. Certain things just money cannot buy. And I'm not saying money ain't everything. Money means a lot, especially in this world. But when you have the money and you still ain't happy, there's so many cases of people like that. You got to get your emotional health together. You got to get your confidence together. You have to know that you're capable of having these opportunities. I was telling some of my friends and like people I'm cool with, my mom, like, the money is out there. You just gotta find it. You just gotta put yourself in a place. You gotta, where the money resides type of thing. You gotta find where the money is for what you're trying to do. It is there. You just have to sell it. People are not gonna buy or cash into or invest time in you if they don't feel like what you're doing is worth their time. So like I said, a lot of your blockages are more of a you energy thing, and like some people that are just not helping you like you should. But some of this stuff, once you start to notice, like, you'll notice this probably based on somebody being like, oh, somebody did mention this about you, but I didn't think you were do. Cut their ass off. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it's more than likely you might have to cut their ass off, because it may not even come from a place of ignorance where they really didn't know. They was just on some hater shit, because they could have at least been like, put your name in the room and then been like, oh, friend, like, let's help you with this and do. They didn't even do that. They just automatically assumed you wasn't on shit. That's a red flag. But some of that stuff needs to come from your energy too, because you don't wait for another person to give you an opportunity. And you don't buy your way. You don't always have to buy your way into it either. Sometimes it's investing your energy and getting your confidence and putting yourself out there. And I feel like some of y'all are scared to really just go out there and do your thing. Do your thing. Do that. Have fun. You'll learn and grow. You'll build thicker skin. You know what I'm saying? You might get some no's here or there with this strength card. You might get some no's here or there, but it'll thicken your skin, because at that point, you're going to be like, fuck it. The worst they going to say is no. They might even say some other stupid shit. You never know. But it's better than keeping yourself locked up. There's so much potential within you. You need to follow that. You need to follow through on that. Don't think, oh, well, I'm not confident enough. Well, what makes you feel good for you to even get started to do what you wanted to do anyway? It had to have been something. You want it out there for a reason. You just have to connect those dots. You have to connect between knowing that you may not have the confidence, but there's something valuable about you. You just have to let go of thinking that you're not valuable enough. You are. There's so many people in this world. There's somebody needs whatever you're trying to put out. Somebody needs it. It's gonna feed their soul. It's gonna feed their spirit. They're gonna feel good about it. All this good stuff. With that said, follow through on it. Somebody out there. Stop thinking locally. A lot of people, even if you're like somebody who's just usually in the city, you know what I'm saying, you're not really on socials that much, and you come across this video, get out of the local mentality that your city is the only place where you need to get things popping. That is not true. There's somebody out there, I don't care where, there's somebody out there who really rocks with what you're doing. Let it be that. Let it be that. Don't try to, oh, well, people in my city don't like this. Well, okay, somebody in the other city might like it. And then everybody gonna be like, oh, I didn't know it was that in the city. Oh, I'm into it now, because then you become the marker for that city. You know what I'm saying? You become the like, Toronto is like a really good example. Like, you know what I'm saying? Toronto had stuff going on, period. But Drake really solidified it with his sound, the OVO sound. That's a good example. You know what I'm saying? Like, how New York shaped hip hop. Like, those things like that. You may think, oh, like, this city ain't on this, or my city ain't on that. Be the first to do something good in your city. Or be the one to, maybe there's something already going on in your city. Okay, create a subgenre and be popping at that. Stop thinking locally. Be that one to spread your energy everywhere beyond your city. It's possible. Okay, pile 3. What is it giving? I'm trying to make sure it's aligned up with the camera properly. Ooh. Y'all are, we getting some asteroid cards coming out of here. I kind of like it. Yeah. Some of y'all are in this, and I'm gonna turn this around. You saw that it was backwards, but I'm gonna turn it around. Only reason why I'm gonna turn it around is because I don't normally flip my oracle cards like that. But I'm gonna cover all the bases. A lot of y'all, I feel like y'all letting what people are saying trip you up. Now, we get into the part where words are spells and they impact the way we see and how we think. And I feel like people got into your psyche just a little bit and they've impacted the way that you're seeing things. Vesta is this hurt that keeps going. It's a religious thing. It's a commitment. Now let's kind of get into Vestal energy just for a little bit. And we're seeing the fire energy, the Leo energy coming in within these cards as well, especially the Aries energy. Now, or actually in this case, the Sagittarius energy, because the Queen of Wands is Sag and Leo energy in tarot astrology. Excuse me, air in my throat. Anyway, like I said, Vestal energy is basically when like nuns were keeping up with this hearth, and they were also preserving their virginity. So they will always make sure this hearth did not die down. They were always maintaining the fire, maintaining the flame. Now, let's get into something really, really good about this. I can see you channeling a lot of fire energy. So you know you're probably, some of y'all are committed to your work, you're committed to your practice, and Jupiter and the sun relate heavily to religion because they're all about keeping the flame going. It's that solar energy there that is the consistency that I've been talking about. But what also I was going to be covering soon is how Jupiter energy carries the torch. It's kind of like the Olympic torch. It's the Olympic flame. It travels. It goes places. It lets people look. It goes places. It lets people know that you're on a journey. You're doing something. You're going different countries. You're proving off you're showing off your abilities. These abilities. You're tapped into something great. The psychic abilities does not always mean you have to be an astrologer, a tarot reader, or any of the people that do divination. Sometimes the psychic ability is whatever that you're doing, you have a intimate connection with it, and it's very intuitive, and you know how to provide people with what they need based on what you're doing. You're very intentional in what this is. However, where you get it messed up is you're allowing people's conflict with you impact the way you're seeing everything else around you. And it's messing with your psyche because you care too fucking much. You care. And with being spiritual, and when you're like, I feel like some of y'all are baby spiritualists, or some of y'all, even if you're more experienced, or you know what I'm saying, you're tapped into whatever craft that you're doing on this type of level that I'm saying, you're letting other people's perception bother you. Because it's like, you know what it is, but the fact that they're ignorant, it's bothering you. It's kind of like they're putting shadows and shades in that. But instead of thinking of the shadows and the shades people are bringing towards your life as a sort of negative thing, think of the shadows as contours to your creation. We would not have shapes without shadows. The light and the shadows come together to create images, pictures, things that we can see, things we can, experience. It creates shapes, it colors our life, and a lot of people think everything needs to be, full of light. If there was full of light, we still would not be able to see. It's the shadows that helps us perceive what's going on around us. So with that said, let's not put the shadows into a sort of negative connotation, because I don't like that. I will tell you though, when there's fuckery, when there's arguments, when there's problems, that's a signal for you to pivot into something that's a better energy, or taking that energy and transmuting it. And I feel like you're very familiar with transmutation. Now, there's something else I want to cover, and I feel like I cover it quite a bit sometimes throughout my platforms, is that Agni It's also fire energy. And again, this is another good example of Agni not wanting to be the consumer of good and bad. He didn't want to consume, the trash and then the sacrificial, because they were always used for ritual stuff. The fire was for rituals, kind of like Vestal energy, ritual stuff. But when the fire was being used for trash too, he retreated and had to have been told, like, that negative energy, you're cleansing it. We need you to cleanse this energy. So when people are trying to throw trash on you and trying to throw dirt on your name, you need to brush that off. You need to clean it off. You know the life that you chose. You want to be on your hot girl and you need to know how to rise above. Because when you're on a level like this and when you're told that you need to move like this, you got to be quick with it. The Queen of Wands has a middle energy that's very lunaresque because of the Queen energy and the Venusian energy that comes from it too. Libra is Venus in the balance. The moon has a sort of yin and yang energy that kind of, moves like this, right? With that said, you have to be quick on your mental. The moon is the mind. You have to be very quick with it. When somebody hits you with some stuff, you gotta because you letting them know. When you're quick with it like that, when it comes to conflict, people fear you that way. That's the quickest way to get feared, is when you're quick like that, because they probably planned for a minute trying to get under your skin, or that's their usual way to get under people's skin. So when that energy don't get met, it throws them off, and then they don't really want to mess with you no more. Get what I'm saying? And because you're tapped in psychically, you need to know how to redirect your energy. So you let that person know, I'm not the bitch to play with, or I'm not the motherfucker to play with. I'm not that one to play with at all. Because you're aware of yourself, you know what it is you're trying to do. So when people are trying to come at you with whack energy, you brush it off. And I feel like some of y'all, even with this reversal, some of y'all are brushing the energy off anyway. But since it's there, it's a reminder to let you know, when this happens, you got to move a certain way. And sometimes you always can't be quick with it. Sometimes, like, I've had a situation like that happen to me recently. Like, it got done, but it wasn't satisfying. And I got to learn to get the satisfaction out of the thing. And maybe some of y'all are still looking for the satisfaction based on when your output goes. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes the output won't go the way you want it to go still, because maybe there's also like a piece of you that has an image of how you want things to go, and when it doesn't go your way, you feel like you lost control. You didn't lose control. Some things are just not worth a rebuttal all the time. Sometimes you could show somebody better than you could tell them. And Jupiter and solar energy is very showy. So keep that in mind. It's about showing off the energy. It's about letting them know what you about, what you want to do and what you're not going to do, and setting the tone like that. You won't win every battle, but it's about you learning to win these types of wars. Once you learn how to win these types of wars, you'll be way better off. You'll be way better off. And with this being like a Leo Saturn card right here, this Five of Wands, it's learning to rise above the energy. Like when you're met with a sort of conflict, your energy will just burn through all of that. Sometimes it's not even about meeting people where they at with it. It's like, you a peon for real. Like, get on my face. Like, you're not even worth all the energy. I got better things to do. And sometimes you do. So let them get their little one in. Like I said, you gonna win the battle, or you gonna win the war at the end of the day. You gonna win the war at the end of the day. So let it be that. Okay, pile 4. Let's see what we got here. My rickety chair, I feel like y'all should be, true to this, not new to this by now. Let us pile 4. Let's just get into it. Let's not even hold back. What are you running from? Like, eventually you're gonna have to forgive yourself for whatever you messed up in, or the things you're gonna have to face. You just gonna have to face that. You gonna have to, like I be telling people in real life, you gonna have to eat that. They gonna have to eat that. It is what it is. You're gonna have to take that L. You're gonna have to do what you have to do. You're gonna have to move forward. You have to move on. You're gonna have a lot of stuff going on at the same time. And that's because the stuff you didn't want to deal with in the past, you want to be busy now, or you gotta deal with the stuff in the past because it can't come with you and it's gonna interfere with whatever you have going on. You're gonna have to learn how to balance both. You're gonna learn how to have to put it together and throw away stuff as you're putting new stuff in. You can't have the trash mixed in with the good shit. Can't have the old and dusty with the new and pretty, or the vintage stuff. It all can't mix together. It's gonna look ugly. It's gonna be tacky. You're gonna look bad. Your energy gonna feel bad. There's some stuff you need to haul out, purge, let go, and whatever. And I feel like some of that is scary for y'all because it's kind of like you've lost before. You don't want to lose again. But why would you want to keep trash around? What good is that doing you? Keeping toxicity around. What is that doing for you? It's keeping you comfortable because you're used to toxicity, but then you're going to have to reflect like, dang, I kind of really let myself stay in this situation. And it's not even a victim blame or anything, because we all go through our things where we've either been controlled in a situation or we're in a situation that we don't like. It's not a fault here, but you're eventually going to have to move forward and forgive yourself, because you didn't do anything wrong to put yourself here. It just happened. Now that you know that you're in this, how do you not go back to it? Because staying in it is going to hurt you from the inside out. Forgive yourself. Fuck the person that's doing this, or whoever's causing the situation, or whatever environment you're in. Fuck them. Forgive you. Because I feel like you're going real hard on yourself when you need to take the steps necessary to remove yourself from that situation, because it'll best benefit you. It really will. I just feel like you feel like you're not ready, and maybe you're not ready this month, whatever. But just know when opportunities come, it's going to be harder to really live and love it, because you're still surrounded by what you hate. And you don't want that stuff to poison the new opportunities that come in. You can't leave fucked up doors open, because they're going to find what door you came in and try to fuck your shit up. You got to close those doors. You got to close the doors on people and let them know, no, I'm not doing this with y'all. They can't come where you're going. They can't come with you. That's not fair to you. They had their whatever with you. It's over. It's done. Or that situation took everything out of you. Almost. It's done. They can't have no more. Where's the energy for you now? You need to focus on you now. Don't let everything else that's going on and you having to sit back and really actualize it. The actualization is going to create the change. The actualization that you're in a fucked up situation, or just even if it's minute, that this is not right, is going to be the catalyst for the change. But as long as you are stuck in not even wanting to stay, but you're staying there, you're just prolonging the evidence. And the more you prolong it, the uglier it's going to get, and it's going to get more colluded and conflicted. I've done this thing on my Patreon where I've talked about the 3 levels I consider the 3 levels of trauma, and I put it in a waterfront just because the Cancerian energy is the beginning stage of how you feel about it. Then you go into your fight or flight, right? So you go into Scorpio, which is the active traditional Mars rulership energy, which is basically these two in a technical note, right? Because you want to change it. When you're feeling away and you don't like how you're feeling, you want to change it. So you're going to do that, right? But then when you skip the fight, right, and you go into flight, you go into the Piscean territory. That's when everything gets tangled up, mixed up, mashed up. You don't know where this came from and how that festered, because you've been sitting in this autopilot for so long. We all go through it. There's some backlog of stuff I got to deal with, and I'm a reader. It's life. I'm just here to help you understand that what's going on. I'm here to help you understand what's going on. And for you right now, you're in a stage where you're going to choose fight. There's some fight that needs to happen here. You need to choose fight. There's still time for you to figure this out. Now, there might be some confusions, but it doesn't, right, from what I'm seeing right now, it's not as bad. There's still an opportunity here for you to fix some stuff while you still can. At least try. You don't even have to do too much, but like a small step is better than taking none at all. But you don't want this situation to get more tangled up than what it already is, because it's going to leave you at a disadvantage because there's some stuff that you don't know about. Excuse me. That's going to come in. And it might come in hot. And while you have this opportunity that you want to reach for and all this other stuff going in, you're going to have to deal with the fuckery and that at the same time. That's going to happen anyway. But I'd rather you be in an active energy of solving for it right now. And like I said, balancing that energy out than you waiting and then being confused and then trying to do stuff and then you can't because you don't even know where to start, because now you're just slowly losing more and more and more the more you're delaying on this. I don't need you to delay no more. There needs to be a big change. And it's one of those things where if you don't change, I tell people, if you don't change, life gonna do it for you. You might not like how life gonna want to do it, because life don't give a fuck about your timing. Oh, this is the wrong time. Life don't give a fuck about that timing. Fuck your timing. Because you were inconveniencing yourself when you didn't do whatever you needed to do. Get what I'm saying? And like I said, it's not to victim blame. This is just me being candid, right? Everything comes with an amount of risk, but just knowing staying in a situation that you shouldn't be in, or staying in an environment where it's not supporting you because you're not doing this and this and this and that, it's only going to fester. And like I said, life don't give a fuck about what you have going on. You cannot hide from life. You cannot hide from the smell. You cannot hide from trash. It's going to start to stink. It's going to start to rot. Then you're going to start seeing maggots. Then you're going to start smelling other funky shit. Then you're going to have to start smelling mold. Then the mold going to get in your lungs. Then you're going to have more problems. Now you got a doctor bill. You know what I'm saying? You see how it just festers and everything just gets worse? If you just took the trash out in the beginning, you wouldn't have all that. But you're letting it sit there, and then you think blessings can come in from the other way. It's just going to infect everything. Like I said, you don't need to solve all this for this month. This is just an eye-opener. Now, this may be a complex situation. I hope to God that you are safe. I'm praying for your safety right now as we speak. But something got to give, sweetheart. You cannot stay whatever this is, whatever that is, you need to look for it out immediately. And I'm going to let that be that. But forgive yourself. You are not at fault here for what happened, what happened, what choice. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. And fuck them. And fuck the situation. Whatever the situation is, whatever shit situation it is, fuck that. Forgive yourself first and move out. Move on. Heal. You can't heal in a fucked up situation. It's always going to bring you back. You can't tolerate a situation and try to build restraint. It's going to stress you out. And it's going to start fucking with your organs and shit because you're stressed. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Something got to change. Something got to change. Last but not least, pile 5. What do we have going on with y'all? I'm trying to stay in frame. Okay, so I've been meaning to talk about like the little small messages, but I'm gonna say y'all message stuck to me the most. And the message that stuck out for me for y'all is I was getting like, y'all need therapy. You need therapy, and there are some loose ends that you just did not tie up. And you need to tie them loose ends quickly. I feel like a lot of y'all's energy is just very misplaced and misdirected. Your situation is similar to pile 1, but where I say it's different is I feel like you're kind of in that point where like you're having a really good run, but the luck might run out if you keep fucking around. You're gonna fuck around and find out. You're being a little bit irresponsible. Okay, there's like 2 or 3 different people I'm talking about right now too. Number 1, I got somebody right now. One of y'all fucking, y'all doing a whole bunch of shit with somebody, or you fucking multiple people. You need something about this. You need to stop fucking them. It's not giving. It's really not giving. There's something about that energy. It's stank. They got something going on. There's an energy about them. Slow down. You might, if you don't want to be pregnant, and if you don't want no extra problems, and just take care of your sexual health is my whole point. If there's some things you don't want out of sexual situations, you need to start protecting now. Some of y'all could end up pregnant. Now, if I'm not talking to some of y'all, okay, the other ones I'm talking about is your energy is misdirected. It just seems like you have these huge cravings and you're not creatively satisfying them. And you need to start creatively catering to whatever it is you want to do. You need to put that sexual energy towards an idea instead of being horny on the timeline all the time, or instead of like having these strong desires and passions, and you're kind of, again, you're putting it towards the wrong shit. I need you to focus. No more flirting. Turn off the dating apps for like 1 second. Like, just stop being horny, or stop having like this energy where you're putting it out sexually, but you're not really managing the creativity that comes behind it. Some of y'all gonna fuck around, be pregnant when your ass was supposed to be pregnant with ideas. Some of y'all need to just slow down, and you're on a good run and you're having fun and you're doing, whatever you want to do. But now it's time to stand on business a little bit. And I feel like some of y'all are gonna reject this. I really don't give a fuck. That's on y'all. I'm just telling you, sexual energy is creative energy, and when you're given an opportunity, and when somebody's telling your ass, hey, focus on the creativity, and you're telling me no, I'm just getting the impression that you're not, whatever it is you're passionate about, you suck at it. And do you want me to feel that way about you, or are you gonna show me different? Okay, that's what I thought. So some of y'all, if you don't suck at what you're doing, stop sucking that person and start being good at whatever it is you're doing. Start to challenge those ideas, challenge your creativity. You know why you too busy, being outside and all that other stuff, or doing whatever you're doing, is because you're not challenging your ideas. You need to come in and kind of be a little bit of a hater with yourself a little bit. Hate yourself a little bit. No shade. Like, be like, oh, that's all you doing? Like, be that like that to yourself. That's all you doing? You could amp this up a lot better. You could do this. You could do that. You can. You could be better than whatever it is you're doing. Then you're going to start getting your gears turned, because now you're going to start trying to prove yourself. Like how you kind of like resisting me right now. You're going to start resisting yourself like, oh, fuck no. I'm that one. You know what I'm saying? I do what I do. And then you're going to actually start doing it. Like I said, just be careful. My reading for y'all is not super complex, because I already kind of see what's going on here. But even like in the summer, I want you to really keep this in mind too, because that's when everybody just be they be outside. I'm seeing too much orange and yellow. When it starts heating up, you trying to do this little outside thing. That's great, but you need to focus on what really matters, which is your ideas. You need to balance it. It's not to say you can't be fucking, but make sure nobody's using all your you're not using all your creative energy towards fucking. You're just misdirecting your energy. You need to be working on whatever it is you want to do, instead of resisting it so damn bad because you feel like it's not coming through, no pun intended. It's not coming as fast as you want it to. So because of that, it's not going to come as fast as sex. It's a quick fix, but it's not fixing the actual issue, because that energy is eventually going to pile back up. So put it towards something that can keep going. It needs to be on like a sort of valley orgasm type of thing. Like, let me give you an example. Let me go on one of my books that might help y'all. I think I need to recommend a book for y'all real quick. Hold on. Where is it? Yep, it's right here. Speaking of yellow and orange, I was just thinking about that. The Valley Orgasm. This book. Some of y'all need to tap into this book and, you know, get your life. The Valley Orgasm is like very important. Like, you want to like keep this. Like, you feel me? You want to keep the energy going where the orgasm lasts a lot longer. And the creative energy is very similar to that. Now, don't be using this energy on just anybody. Don't be like, oh, let me try this with my partner. They don't know what they doing. This is for the real ones, okay? Don't be doing that with just anybody. Don't, okay? This is just an example. Do this for yourself. If you want to like start like if you still feeling like horny or whatever, you just use this, right? Just use this. Other than that, though, I need you to, again, focus your energy on the creativity part. And then when you feel some type of way, refer to that book. That book is a gem, okay? You want to learn how to keep the energy going and keep cycling through it. Just know your ideas are endless, just like your sexual thirst is. But you just need to balance it a little bit. You know, you don't want to be the one doing too much and whatever, then you're unfulfilled because you're only fulfilling yourself sexually and physically, but you're not satisfying yourself creatively and spiritually. You need to transmute some of that energy. Going off deep end a little bit, doing a little too much. Let's reel it back. Don't take the sex out. Just minimize it, because the people that you're around, they just it's just you could be doing something way better with the energy and spending more time with your damn self. Explore your body a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get to know yourself in different ways. Explore the sexual energy within the creative space and within your own self-pleasure. Focus on that. That's really where y'all need to be at with it. And yeah, that's all.